This has to simmer, it says, for an hour, so we made it ahead of time. But I'll tell you what we did is we started with the pan and we just put it on low until the butter melted. And then we put in the minced garlic and the onion, and you just get it in there till it's cooking. You don't want it on a high heat because you don't want it to brown, you just want it to cook. Just kind of, and when, if you're cooking with butter and things like that, and it starts to go dry and you're not supposed to brown it, that means it's too high. You're getting the moisture out of it too quickly. So we just kind of started it on low and turned it up to a medium low till it looked like it was done. And then you just pour in the rest of the ingredients. And I found it difficult in this pan, and this is a really big pan because it's very full. So, but then we just had it on low and let it simmer while we've been here. So you can use, if you're making this and you have some kind of preserves, say you like peaches or pineapple or something like that. I love to put fruit in when I'm cooking things. So instead of grape jelly, you could use something else. You could put, you know, in the sauce to make it, and you could even use a little bit more. If you taste it and it's not sweet enough, you can add the jelly, will make it sweeter. The vinegar will make it more, obviously a little less sweeter. If you get it one way or the other, you can add those to offset it.
What kind of vinegar did you use? Apple cider?
We used apple cider vinegar. I tried the red wine vinegar and I drank it and I drank it and never felt a thing. So we've been letting this simmer, and we are now going to pour it in here and set it aside. I think I can do this without making a mess.
I don't know, after all that vinegar.
Do you ever use that pre-minced garlic that you find in the produce section?
Oh, it's funny you asked. We use that in this recipe.
Oh, okay.
And it has a lot of juice with it. I don't know that when I do mine at home, I don't know that mine is that. So I don't know if they add a little something to it or. And since we're making the barbecue chicken, I rinsed it out, and we're going to use the same pan. And we're going to turn on the pan and warm it up and get the butter and 2 tablespoons, 2 little ones. And what we're going to do with the chicken is kind of just brown it so that it gets a little crispy crust to it. I have found that sometimes if you boil the chicken and then just put barbecue sauce on it, it tends to get too moist, or there's a word for that, I'm not sure. It's soft, or so when you make it and you cook it a little bit like this first, it will kind of keep it from doing that. So we're just going to melt the butter, and then we'll put some chicken in here and brown it. You can use olive oil or something else if you have it. And if you're short on time for barbecue sauce, but you like a barbecue sauce, but you want to kind of make something homemade or kick it up a notch or something, you can buy store-bought barbecue sauce and add a few things to it, like a little bit of garlic and some preserves or something if you wanted to do that.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola makes it sweeter and thinner. Okay, get the chicken breast. See, I'm going to get that just a little bit warmer before we get started. Get the butter sizzling just a little bit. To be nice and pretty and brown.
It's very colorful up here.
It is. We've got all kinds of colors. Does anybody make homemade barbecue sauce at home when you do? Do you? I think my husband's mother used to make homemade barbecue sauce, and he always says, "Oh, I wish I could find that recipe." And I think there's just something about the homemade that, you know, and you cook it down, and it has just a whole different flavor to it. So I can't wait to take a little bit of this home tonight and see if I finally found that recipe that of course, you know how you get after time after you make something, and you just put, you know, a squirt of mustard and that kind of thing, and there's a lot of things I make that I don't have written down either. But
so one of the things I talked about last week was that I'm not used to following a strict recipe and then having to teach about it. It's usually I just throw it all in there and make up concoctions with whatever's in the cabinet. So this is good discipline, kitchen discipline, following a recipe.
Okay, so I'm going to salt and pepper these while they're in there. By the way, Stacy's mom is here in the front row. Came all the way from Nashville for our show tonight.
Put it on the national news.
Well, a couple of you said, "Oh, you were here last week," and I was just saying that we had so much fan mail, and they begged and begged for me to come back. So.
Have you made her special dish?
No, I have not.
But you're going to?
I'm going to. Yes. Oh, yes. She will have it. The chicken broccoli braid.
You're not going to leave it till you make it.
I will make it. I told her we would shop tonight once it was over to get all the ingredients.
So if you'd like, you can just follow
You
Stacy.
can
in
just
her
follow
card
me and follow me
Is it a
home.
secret what the special dish is?
No, it's chicken broccoli braid. Chicken broccoli braid. It is, you mix up cooked chicken, fresh broccoli, red bell pepper, minced garlic, dill, mayonnaise, cheese. Gotta get the cheese, sharp cheddar cheese. And mix all of that up, and then you lay out 2 packages of crescent rolls, and then you cut, like, you lay them all completely out on a cookie sheet, and you cut the edges like in little strips with a pizza cutter. You put that mixture in the middle, spread it all out, and then you twist up the ends of the crescent rolls to make it a braid.
So we can do this next week?
Maybe with me.
Do you cook the chicken first?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
The chicken is cooked.
Cook the chicken and
Cooked
broccoli
chicken.
first?
Broccoli's fresh.
Or should we stay late tonight?
You can stay late tonight.
We'll just do it here in the kitchen.
Canned chicken, big white.
Yeah, I started with
with.
this, and I just found out it was much easier just to use the white cooked chicken in the can.
Really? That sounds gourmet.
It's Pampered Chef. I don't know if I copyright, I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, it's, I mean, I started making it.
Recipes.
Yeah.
I'll be on it online.
It is, it is.
Chicken broccoli braid.
Chicken broccoli braid, Pampered Chef. It's amazing. You what?
I started to say, I don't know if there's some kind of copyright if we could make copies, but maybe if we just change something about it.
I did. Because on their recipe, the Pampered Chef, when it talks about using their all-purpose dill mix and their, but I just substitute dill, just dried dill for dill mix.
Food Club
It's amazing.
dill.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, Food Club.
You're just salt and peppering the chicken.
I'm just salt and peppering the chicken, and really, you don't really cook this till it's done. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I think part of the flavor of this will be when we put it in the oven and let it bake for about 20 minutes or so. The chicken, I put it in, covered it. I put a little, when I'm doing something like this, I put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pan. Number one, it keeps from sticking, but also if it gets hot enough, it kind of steams the chicken as well as cooking it. So that's why I put on there. You don't have to put the water in there if you're used to cooking it a different way, but that's just my. And then wrap it and stick it in the oven, which I'm going to do. Now we'll put this over to the side. When it's finished, we're going to chop it up and serve it with some sauce. But you could keep the chicken breast whole and serve it. I make it at home and chop it up and make sandwiches with it, you know, like on a bone. But there's all kinds of things that you can do with it. You can, we're going to eat it on French bread, but I've made it before and taken it as an appetizer and put a little cheddar cheese over it on French bread and toasted it, and it makes a nice little appetizer too. So, and that, you know, it's barbecue sauce, so you can use it on anything, ribs or whatever.